Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my part 2 out here for you. And if you haven't watched my part 1, I'll have a link in the description box, so please watch that first. There's a lot of stuff I cover before this I'm not going to cover again, kind of some build-up and things and other characters that are murderers or characters, whatever I go through before these. So the first 32, and now I'm going to cover the rest, and I'm going to get up to 51 actually. So, and if you haven't watched my video called I Found the Gold and Silver Keys, I highly recommend that. That's going to be a link in the description box as well, and also pinned to the top of comments. So click on that, check that out. That one's a really great one for a lot of the clues and signs and things that God has put out there for people, that it's finally a huge puzzle that God has put together for me about this time frame that's coming up. Okay, now I'm going to do another video coming out here in about a week maybe about iPad Goat and go through the whole timeline again, which is September 1st through September 13th. It's a 13-day birthing process of Stinky BO, the 44th Prez, being the Antichrist. And this guy right here, you see right here, this nugget right here, the Joker. He's such a joker. I have all kinds of names for him, but now I'm calling him the Joker because he's a joke, basically. So anyway, it's also the birth of the man-child as well, but you know that'll explain that video in that video. So watch that. I found the gold and silver keys. It's a huge work of mine. So I want a lot more people to see it if you haven't seen it, because it's really massive, I think, and proves this time frame coming up. So I'm also prove some things about that time frame as well in this video as well. So I'm gonna get through some stuff with that. So without much further ado, hopefully I'm gonna step right into this. There's a lot I got to cover, and I'm excited to cover it. I really am. I was chomping at the bit last several days to put this out, because the Lord showed me so many things that are about even up that's just happened. You know, yesterday, 8/11, huge day, 8/11. Not much happened as far as a lot of people know, but I'm going to show you how this ties into these attack days that are coming up, including 9/11 and other things. So this is pretty crazy. So let's get going here. So on the last video, I definitely showed, I'm going to get back into serial killers for different reasons, but I showed Charles Manson here and Sharon Tate being the victim. I went through the victims and the murderers at the same time, but then I went into murderers and things by themselves. But I have not yet found a murder that I have over 60 now, 65, 66, I don't know, something like that, that all have this number, 84 basically. Okay, so but in my last video I said I hadn't tried the Manson family. Well, here it is, the Manson family. Bingo. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 8. 84 backwards. Okay, so it's crazy. This is huge, okay? This just keeps coming. This is impossible, not only for it to be on each person's name, the name that they're known in public, but also their birth name, and then whatever they're called as far as a murderer or whatever. In this case, the group of murderers called the Manson family. So that's crazy. It's just, it's impossible. Especially when you're looking at most of these are all in English gematria. We got reverse, there's reverse, English, reverse, reverse, and then English right here. So, I mean, simple English. So there's just, for that to be in just a, handful of gematrias, that's impossible. I mean, if I had like 1,000 gematrias, that would be one thing, but this is just not possible, okay, unless it's planned. Now, I want to get into this murderous dude, okay? George H.W. Bush, okay? Yes, a member of Skull and Bones, but I'm going to get into a bunch of things. Now, this is crazy. Look at his date of death, 2 years ago almost, year and a half ago, whatever it was now. I'm getting approaching 2 years, actually. So let me get into this. Now we have Stinky B.O., okay, the Antichrist to be revealed here. And he came back on the scene right there in that picture. He was at the John Lewis funeral. See him all looking smug. That's why a new name I have for him is Smug Nugget. Smug Nugget is there, and he's all pursing his lips like that, and I could tell he was not comfortable there. He was not comfortable quoting scripture, and he definitely cut out James 1. James 1 verse 1. He's quoted James 1, 2, and 4, but he didn't quote James 1, 1, which has Jesus in it. So he wants to be the replacement Jesus, of course. So his birthday is 8/4/1961. The subject of this whole thing is about 8/4. But I'm going to show you how these two are linked together. Remember, I said the Antichrist's birth is death. because when he is born to the world, it's death for many people. And so that's why all these rituals, even one that came up a few days ago, and I'm going to talk about that here soon, it was a ritual for these numbers, to harvest these Gematria numbers for his birth. And his birth, like I said, before his birth, in a process of his birth, this 13-day process that I've uncovered in predictive programming and in all kinds of media, including iPad Go 2, and just several things, movies, TV, I mean, all kinds of stuff. Okay, it's prophesying his birth in a sense, in their way of prophesying. They're just manipulating things in the background, people, situations, narratives, and all kinds of media to bring this about. Okay, so see how this matches. Again, he's also a president. He was the 41st president, and now this one's the 44th president. So they have a relationship as far as president. They also, all presidents go through a ritual at each inauguration that's secret. It's private. It's called the Raising of Osiris, and that's shown as well in iPad Go 2 and things as well. And I've talked about that. But here, let's get into this real quick. So in Strong's Hebrew, 1961, if you can believe it. That's why one of the reasons why his year is 1961 means to fall or to fall out. And if that's not a perfect description of the enemy being cast down or falling out of heaven, I mean, there's several quotes about that, falling, how far you've fallen, Lucifer, O son of the dawn, and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy. I mean, that's not a coincidence. These numbers are not coincidental. They prove things. Now, let me show you. So another thing about 1961 is 19 here is upside down and backwards, making it 61. Or 61 is upside down and backwards of 19. And that's the uniqueness of 9 and 1. 1 upside down or backwards, doesn't matter, is 1. I mean, it's got that little thing at the top, of course, but this is how they see it. And of course, 6 and 9 are notorious for being upside down and backwards of each other, basically, okay? So that's how this works. So it's hidden, and I'll prove it to you in different ways. So 1961 is hidden 1919. And I'm going to show you this a few ways how it is. But that's what it is. I've broken this code. It's really crazy. And then we have 8 and 4, ultimately. So, like I said, what are they really saying? They're saying several things. It's about destruction. It's about what's coming, all kinds of stuff. So, but 8 plus 4 is 12. Okay, and then 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 19 is always code for 1. So beginning and end also. 1 in the 19, it's 1 and a 9. 1 is beginning, 9 is the end. It's the last number of the sequence of 1 through 9. Okay, they don't count 0, so it's beginning and end. So it's really hiding the beginning. So it's also symbolic. So 1 plus 9 is 10. Take away the 0 and you have 1. So with 19 and 19, you have 1 and 1. Or another way to look at it, anything you add to 9 stays the same. So you just slash out the 9s and you have 1 and 1. So 311. A lot of people had no idea that his code of 311 is hidden in his birthday of 8/4/1961. Well, what's hidden in George Bush's death day, okay, which has to do with Barack Obama's birthday? Well, look at this. 11 and 30 is 11 and 3. Take away the 0. Wow, that's it backwards. But what about his year? Well, the year is 2 plus 1 plus 8 is 11. This is what I call a mirror date. And I've showed that many times. To hide it, it's like you put a mirror right here. It's 311 this way and it's 311 this way. So basically it's saying 311, but it's just a mirror date. And there's many I've shown in the past. For example, in Back to the Future, Marty McFly goes to November 5th, 1955. November is 11, 5 is 5, of course, and 5th. And then 1955 is the 19, which is 1. And then 5 is 10, which is 1. So it's 11, 5, 11. And that's a mirror date for 11-5. So 11-5 is 11-3, is 11-7, is 11-9, or 9-11 backwards, which I'm talking about. So these are all different codes for the same thing, which is coming. And I've explained that in past videos without getting to all the description of why that is, why these are. 311 is 511, is 711, is actually 811 and 911, okay? So let me keep going here. So ultimately what we're talking about here is 3 times 11, 3 times 11, or 3 times 11, 33. Of course, that's why Masons are 33-degree Masons and all this stuff. But that's why they love 33, because ultimately it's his birthday. So it's a birthday right here, but there's a date hidden that's the ultimate birthday, which is 311, which ultimately I'm saying right now is 9/11. Okay, and that's why I thought I was on that date last year for a number of reasons that are still valid. It's crazy. Now let me keep going here. So now we have Stinky Bo's birthday. We have George Bush's birthday. We have somebody else's birthday. Ooh, it's Barbara Bush. Okay, and her her death day, which is a little bit before Giorgio's, was 4/17/2018. So a few months before his was her demise. Okay, again, these are rituals. These are rituals that they go through. Either they were killed or they were part of these rituals. And then, I mean, they could even still be alive to some degree. Who knows? But it's all about a ritual about the time and everything. These dates are false. Who knows when they actually died or if they even died? Well, let me prove that here. Now look at her birthday. Her death day, I'm sorry. So 4 and 1 plus 7 is 8. Do you notice anything similar here? Look it up, look it up, look it up there, see? And then 2 plus, take away the 0, look at the year. 2 plus 0 is 0, 0. I mean, just 2. Plus 1 plus 8 is 11. So look at this. Isn't this crazy? Are you seeing something here? Remember that? Okay, and then remember this is 8 and 4 and 11. So let me go back here. 4 plus 8. So 4 plus 17 would be 4 plus 1 plus 7 is 12, or 4 plus 8 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. There's the 311 in her date of death as well. Okay, and then his again. Look at that. Is that a massive coincidence? No, not even close. Let's keep going. We've got a lot more not so massive coincidences. So as far as the murderer death day, or death number is George Herbert Walker Bush, in reverse English Gematria is 228. So 2 plus 2 is 4, 8, 84 backwards. How about her? Yes, Barbara Pierce Bush. Again, this is their birth names. Barbara Pierce Bush, 8 and then 9. You can just cancel out the 9, and we got 4. Or 8 plus 9 is 17, 1 plus 7 is 8, and then 4. 84 here, 84 here. Is that a massive coincidence? Nope, not even close. Here we go again. Barbara Pierce Bush is 149. What did I say in the last video? What was 149? In simple gematria is exactly simple. So A equals 1, B equals 2. That was skull and bones. So she's related, her name is related to skull and bones. This is all planned. Why? Well, skull and bones, like I said, is also 8-4, just like her. In fact, look at the number exactly. Not only is her name exactly 149, which matches skull and bones exactly, then look at this. Skull and bones is 894, and exactly in English Sumerian as well. Okay, did you see this? Well, let me go backwards here. Again, her name is matching exactly in English ordinal with skull and bones. And if we keep going, her name exactly is matching skull and bones in 894 and 894. Well, what does that make her? Something special to the elites. Who is she? Well, let's keep going. Why also is 8-4 important? Another reason why, because 8-4 is 4 plus 4 is 8, and then another 4. So we have 4 plus 4 would be 8, and then 4. So 84 is hiding 444, which is the number in English gematria of Lucifer. Because we're talking about ultimately him being incarnate in Stinky Bo, the 44th Prez. Again, 44th Prez is not a coincidence either. You add one more 4, and you have Lucifer possessing the 44. You have the 4 possessing the 44 to make 444. Okay, there's so many things here. It's incredible. Now, I'm going to cover more things. And then Strong's Hebrew for 444 is to be corrupt morally. I mean, is that a massive coincidence too? Am I talking about massive coincidence on top of massive coincidence on top of massive coincidence? It doesn't even exist, let alone do I believe in it. And you shouldn't either, because it's impossible. Okay, so let me show you something. 84, which obviously I'm proving that's his number, and that's his birth, so-called birth, August 4th. But also, as I've shown many times in my videos, he's also number 57. I'm going to be another example of that soon here. But he's Mr. 57. I've shown in my videos over 50 times he's Mr. 57. And that has to do with the date of his demise, and then he'll actually come back to life. Okay, but then also he's 93. Okay, there's Aleister Crowley's Law of Thelema, and it's based on 93. There's all kinds of, in 9/11, there was Flight 93. I mean, there's several things with 93 that they're really into. So what do these have in common? 8 plus 4, 5 plus 7, and 9 plus 3 are 12. Okay, and he's also 12 or 21. I've showed that many times. And then 1 plus 2, ultimately, his ultimate number is 3. And one of the codes that I've been working with for a long time is 923. That's in the Revelation 12 sign. 923 is when 9/23/2015 is when Stinky BO met with the the Pope, to have a ritual and seal the end of the United States on 9/23/15 for this upcoming September that's coming up. And it's a pact that was about, anyway, I'm not getting into all that right now, okay? But he is number 3. Okay, and what's significant about number 3? There's so many things that's significant about number 3. They're going to go from 9, the bottom of the pyramid, to the top of the pyramid, which is 3. Okay, and then what's 3 in Strong's Hebrew is Abaddon. Abaddon is the angel of the abyss. Again, more evidence that it's more than what we're seeing here. So 84 ultimately is not only 444, it's not only the 84th. August 4th, the 216th day of the year, 216th day of the year, which is 6 times 6 times 6, which is 666. It's also ultimately 3, which is Abaddon, the angel of the bottomless pit. And now check this out. What does it say in the Bible about Abaddon? In one of the scriptures, Revelation 9:11. Hello, we're talking about 9:11. Is this all code? Is God into codes? Yes. And I've explained in the video I highly recommend you watch. I found the gold and silver keys. It's the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of men, or the glory of kings, to search a matter out, basically. Okay, and that's what I've shown in that video as well. But 9:11, Revelation 9:11, it's not a coincidence. It's God's code for what's coming. They had, as a king over them, the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew was Abaddon, or Abaddon, however you want to say it, and in Greek is Apollyon, or Apollo, right? That is destroyer. Okay, so I'm likening this 84, this death number that I'm showing in all these murderers, to the ultimate murderer, not only Lucifer, but also Lucifer as the angel of the abyss, which ultimately will be the Antichrist as well, because he comes out of the sea. The abyss is actually over, it's underneath Hawaii, and that's why Hawaii needs to be blown, and it will be blown and cause a massive tsunami on the west coast. At the same time, one is caused on the east coast, and I think it's Kumra Vieja, which is a island volcano off the northern coast of Africa, that may be also planned to landslide and ready to landslide, as I see the evidence at the same time, and they're going to basically push it over the edge with these Poseidon missiles from nuclear subs. But that's coming on possibly 9/11. So I'm going to get more into that as far as the details of the exact events from September 1st to September 13th, and what I'm guessing is going to happen possibly within this time. Again, this is my grand guess. Okay, but here we go. So again, I call him the Dead Bush. That's one of my nicknames for this dude, because I can't say him. He's the Dead Bush. And again, he was in Skull and Bones. And so I'm showing you, his wife, she equals Skull and Bones, is simple gematria. Are you kidding me? And the 894. Are you kidding? Skull and Bones. It's crazy, and it's not possible. And then they're married. Are you kidding me? It's just not possible. That's what it shows right there. Down there below the Skull and Bones is 322. It's the death day, and then that's what they're looking forward to. Okay, and I've talked about what that is and things. So let me keep going here. Let me pause for 1 second. Okay, so let's keep going here. And then why is he a murderer? Well, there's a lot of evidence I've looked into that if you see this picture from 1963, the Kennedy assassination, the Texas School Book Depository, there's a picture of him. It's kind of, for some reason, it's really black and white. I don't know why this is, I guess to just accentuate it the way this is shown. But he's standing right there. You can see, there he is right here, is circled, and there he is with this part on this side. He has the same face shape and everything. He wears the same exact tie and jacket, and that shows him right here, is right there at that time. And he was a member of the CIA at that time. Then he became the director of the CIA, because when you're in Skull and Bones or these secret societies, to get to president, you have to pretty much be, there might be a few exceptions, you have to be a murderer. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. These people go through levels in these secret societies to do things that lock them in. So they can be trusted by Lucifer, they can be trusted by these people at the top that are demonically inspired and possessed and things to, carry through with what they've been told to do and things and what they've been bred to do. So they have to do these heinous things to, basically achieve these high positions. So he basically murdered JFK, and there's a lot of evidence for that. So I'm going to keep going here. So again, let's look at Obama's birthday, his birthday, and then now let's even prove that with the death day. Sorry, it says Obama's birthday, Bush's death day. Let's prove that also by Kennedy's death day, and then he's connected to Kennedy as well by him killing him. Now, let me show you how this connected. So look at Kennedy's birthday is 11/22, which is 33, and then 19 is, like I said, 1 plus 9 is 10. Take away the 0, you have 1. 63 is 6 plus 3 is 9. You have 19. Okay, but 19 is really 1. You keep reducing. 1 plus 9 is 10. Take away the 0. Okay, what do we have? 33 and 1. Well, what's unique about these? It's 3 times 11 is 33. 3 times 11, 33, or 3 times 11, 33. Either way, because it's a mirror date. And then look, 33 times 1 is still 33. So all these, Obama's birthday and the 2 death days of Bush and of Kennedy, and this links him to Kennedy as well. It helps to link him again, the assassination, but there's a lot of other evidence out there, and I'm going to talk about that soon. But to 33, that's not a coincidence. And it must be that Kennedy went against what he basically grew up to be in these societies, and then he spoke out against them. He spoke out against them not too long before he was assassinated. So these secret societies and all this stuff, the secret society speech and things. Okay, back to this old hag here. Okay, we're going to check off Bush being the 33rd murderer, and we're going to go right to her. She's number 34. Okay, now, why is she a murderer? Let me show you a number of reasons. She is Aleister Crowley's daughter. And maybe even, I'm not going to go this far, maybe even his son. She looks like a man. I remember the first day I saw her, not even knowing any of this stuff years ago. I'm like, that looks like a man. That looks like a wrinkly man. I could not believe how much she looked like a man with just everything. And I'll bet you if someone out there done the analysis of it, but I can't say it for sure. I'm not going to say something I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. But definitely he or she looks just like him. Okay, and I know the history. In fact, I'm also probably going to put a link in the description box of a video that shows a lot of the history and the links that he is or she is Aleister Crowley's daughter, or at least daughter, if not son. So again, a lot of these presidents and stuff are transgender as well. I'm not going to get into all that right now and all that stuff, but it's really crazy. Aleister Crowley was the most highly regarded Satanist in the early 1900s, and he was considered the most wickedest man in Europe, and he was kicked out of Europe. In fact, he did weird things, like he bought this castle on Loch Ness because it supposedly it was a parish, or it was a church that burned down and killed a lot of people in it, but with this fire, and then so he loved that. There's all kinds of things. So he has all these books that he's written. He wasn't happy to just know the devil in a normal sense. He said, in his own words, he wanted to communicate directly with the devil himself and be his chief of staff, is what he said in his own books. Okay, so he's come up with systems in these books, and actually most rock stars, he's their patron saint. And I could do videos on that. I know a ton about all these rock stars that basically worshipped and follow his magic, as he called it, MAGIK, or CK, either way. So his magic systems, so many out there. So the biggest bands of all time, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, so many of them follow Aleister Crowley. And if not for his ways of doing magic, they would never have been successful, because he showed them how to get these powerful demons in them and how they can play very well by being possessed. Jim Morrison, all these different, so many famous artists going all the way up to now. Aleister Crowley is influencing all these people. And so this is his daughter or son. And then here, Aleister Crowley, he was a murderer as well. 1 times 84 is 84. Let me show you another evidence of the link between these two, which is phenomenal. Watch this. Mr. Crowley.
What a fantastic audience we had tonight. Washington power brokers, celebrities, Hollywood stars, Ozzy Osbourne. Mistake. The thing about Ozzy is he's made a lot of big hit recordings. Party with the Animals, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Facing Hell, Black Skies, and Bloodbath in Paradise. Ozzy, Mom loves your stuff.
Lovely. Did you hear what he said? Mom loves your stuff. And he named stuff like Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Oh, let me go past that. I'm going to show you something. This is crazy, okay? I got to pause for 1 second. Okay, just having a couple eruptions here at at home. It happens sometimes. So here we go. So he was talking about, I mean, are you kidding me? Supposedly the Bushes to the world were conservative Christians. And here's George W. Bush making jokes and stuff about how his mom loves his music and him. I mean, are you kidding? He said, one of the things he said was Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Here's Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. What's going on in here? Any of you have ever seen this? It's horrible. This is showing, there's a skull with hands coming out. This is people that are naked, possessed, strangling a woman. And, you know, this is a ritual killing right here on this cover. It's really sick. And it's Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath is also 1 plus 7 is 8 and 4, 84. And then look in white there is 666. Because 84 is the August 4th, the 216th day of the year, which is 6 times 6 times 6. Are you kidding me? I mean, if you don't see that with this, I mean, are you kidding? I mean, literally, why would a conservative Christian woman, respectable, so-called, right? Not really. She's a murderous hag, and this proves it. There's so many things that prove this with their family. There's so much more I could get into about their real names and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy. I'm not going to right now, okay? But this is crazy, okay? I mean, do you guys really believe that they are what they're said to be? No, not even close. And then there's him winking, yeah. And then now we're on to Mr. 35. Okay, murder number 35. George W. Bush, okay, winking at you, okay? And I'm going to talk about winkers here pretty soon. George Walker Bush, 84, 1 plus 7 is 8, 4. And then I have on here, 1 plus 4 is 5, and then 7. He's also 57. There's several reasons for these different numbers. It's also, you can also look at it as this way. It's 1 plus 4 is 5, and then 7, or 1 and 7, and then which is 8, and then 4. Sometimes it's scrambled a little bit. That happens sometimes. But see how these other ones, these other 3 confirm the last Jewish one? I mean, it just, that's why you have sometimes multiple I use, because they confirm each other. They show different, perspectives of the same thing. And then why is that also important? Because 1 plus 4 is 5, and then 7, like I showed you, because it has to do with him kind of, parroting or I'm trying to think of the word. Just basically, a lot of these people in leadership roles all over the world, even some people that I think are the Antichrist, like people say Macron, even some people say Trump. I mean, there's all kinds of people. They are like Antichrist groupies, I like to call them. Okay, they worship the Antichrist. They love the idea. They've been in these secret societies all their lives, and so they do things like them. They have 666 all over. They're in their names. I mean, it's all of this stuff. So that's all it is. So he's paying homage to the Antichrist number 57, and that's one of the things I showed you. 84, 57, and 93 are both all 12, which are all 3. Okay, let's keep going here. So in this book, Dark Legacy 2, which is about George W. Bush killing Kennedy Jr., John F. Kennedy Jr. Okay, in this synopsis of this book, jaw-dropping evidence of foul play in the death of JFK Jr., all based on official government documents. The prime suspect, George W. Bush, though very publicly running for president, disappeared the day of the murder and stayed missing for 3 days. There's all kinds of evidence, even besides this. Other people have put it out there. It's phenomenal. And then Dark Legacy 1 is about how George Bush murdered John F. Kennedy as a CIA agent and covertly murdered him and was the killing shot. There were several people involved. He had the killing shot. And so for them both to be present, and this is a weird combo, especially here it comes that the Junior Bush could be the next president. Well, he's got to take out his father's victim, or the son of his father's victim. I mean, it's just crazy. This is nuts. I mean, I apologize. This is late. I'm going to stumble over my words sometimes. Normally I try to do this earlier, but I wanted to get this out, so I might stumble over my words here and there sometimes. But I hope you get the point. It's really crazy. Okay, now I'm going to show you something. Now I'm going to go into some a couple of fictitious characters. Gollum is 480, which is 84 backwards. Check this out.
You're a liar and a thief. Murderer.
Okay, yes, murderer. Like Jesus told me when I was praying to him, asking for some answers on some things he was showing me, and he said a murderer from the beginning, and he was referring to the Pharisees' father, which was the devil, and they wanted to murder him because of what he was saying to them, the truth he was sharing. Okay, so let me go to the next thing. So reason why I show this is because this guy, Louis Lefebvre, visual effects director, writer. He was a big guy with the creation of this Gollum character in Lord of the Rings. This is actually his technical credits here. Creature technical director, Weta Digital, how do you say, Weta Digital, whatever. Okay, and this guy, who is this guy? Let me keep going. It's a certain way I swipe this thing. It's crazy. He was the director, writer, everything of iPad Go 2. Is that a coincidence? No, not a coincidence at all. It's all about murder. This is all about the Antichrist that's coming. This is showing that in this little video, this little movie he made. Okay, and he is a Mason himself. In fact, like I said, I have a source that was a former Mason, and he basically confirmed that. Okay, and that this was seen by Masons years before. Years before it even came out. So that's confirmed as well. And he had details that he couldn't have known and that I knew, but he couldn't have known. And then he reminded me of a detail that this guy is actually from Canada, and this company's from Canada. And he reminded me of that. They had a visitor from Canada, and that was crazy because he really didn't know much about any of this stuff. He just knew that this had shown, and they called it the plan. It's crazy. So this confirms a lot of things I've said. But all these people that have said, negative stuff about this stuff and things I've shared for years, and now it's all coming together, and this is proof here.
You're a liar and a thief. Murderer.
Okay, moving on to the next murderers. Okay, so we have the Joker as a character. Okay, now what are the chances that these two would match up as far as their movies and then also the individual people that played them? Very, very, and not only that, is everyone I've shown in a row, every murderer so far in a row, and I'm giving you the exact order that I came up with these in my head, because I wrote it down, except for the very end, I had like 48, 49, and 50, and then I had 51 and 52, and I took a couple and switched them around just to let you know how this. And I kicked off one or two at the end that could have been 49, one with 48 and 49. I decided to change it just because I wanted it to be a little bit different message and a better message. So, but that's how this is going. I'm literally telling you, showing you exactly how I came up with these. And there's not one murder, either their real name or their name in the movie or whatever, or anything I'm sharing that didn't come up. It's crazy. This is just impossible. So, for example, this is Heath Ledger played the Joker. Okay, 8, 5 plus 8 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 8, so that's 84. And then this guy, the movie that came out, Joaquin Phoenix, it was just called Joker. Of course, he's the Joker, but it's just called Joker. So that also is 3 plus 5 is 8, and 4 is 84. Check this out. His birth name, Heath Ledger, 9, 4, and 8. You can't cross out the 9 because anything you add 9 to stays the same. 48, 84 backwards. Joaquin Raphael Phoenix, 1, 3 is 4. 2 plus 6 is 8. 48, 84 backwards. Are you kidding me? Now let's go to another Joker. Somebody else, another murderer, okay? Famous murderer, right? On movies, right? And there's a couple reasons why I'm going into this, but I thought of this immediately when I'm thinking about these in order. And so I'm thinking, what about this one? What about this one? Okay, this is Hannibal Lecter. Okay, as far as, fictitious Hannibal Lecter. But 1 plus 5 plus 2 is 8, plus 4 is 84. How about this? Sir Philip Anthony Hopkins, which is his birth name, 183. So 8, 1, and 3 is 4, 84. Are you kidding me? And then he was in this movie, this character is called The Silence of the Lambs. Now, the reason I share that, are you getting this? What does that mean? Because it's really pointing to the Antichrist. The Antichrist, like I said, when he's birth, it's death, because it will silence the lambs. Who are lambs in the Bible? The ones who follow Jesus. Jesus said it himself. In fact, he said, "You're a murderer from the beginning because you want to murder me, but you're not of my Father God. You're of your father, the devil." And so when the Antichrist, being born of Lucifer, is born in this world, he will silence the lambs. It's called the silence of the lambs. Do you get this? This is really sick and crazy, okay? And by the way, the silence of the lambs is straight 84. That's not a coincidence either. So we're talking about mass murder, ritualistic mass murder, and it's the stuff I'm talking about that's coming up between 9/1 and 9/11 in a couple weeks. Crazy. Then we have John Wayne Gacy. Okay? 1 plus 48 is 48, 84 backwards. He was called the Killer Clown, 8-4. Take away the 0, of course. I'm just going to say that probably like 1,000 times, but I will. At some point I'll probably stop saying it. Okay, we have, who's this guy? Son of Sam. Son of Sam, yep. He did killing, shot people in New York for a while, and he had these letters, and he called himself the Son of Sam, and it was just demonic. If you ever read the letters, very demonic stuff. This spirit was calling himself the Son of Sam. That these spirits like to have names for themselves that, indwell these people. It's really crazy. And then his name was David, his birth name was David Richard Berkowitz. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 8 is 84 backwards. Are you kidding me? Nope. This guy, which they never were able to come up with who it was, they just had sketchings of him. This was the Zodiac Killer. Again, scratch out 9, you have 48 which is 84 backwards. The Zodiac Killer, and then they had a movie they put out about the Zodiac Killer called Zodiac. The reason why I'm showing this is because look, the Zodiac Killer was in San Francisco. And what is see, these killings are pointing to the future Antichrist. And so San Francisco is notorious, and the Golden Gate Bridge right there is notorious for the attack on San Francisco or the Golden Gate Bridge and all this stuff. Okay? It's crazy. All right? Why is this? The mayor of San Francisco is London Breed, like London Bridge, and it's basically it's hinting at the bridge. It's the Golden Gate. Again, watch my video on I found the gold and silver keys, because it's about this massive sign that I found, alignments of planets that was exactly like the Revelation 12 sign, and it was vertical, or being horizontal right above. It's parallel to the Golden Gate Bridge, and there was another sign on the ground at the same time. All kinds of great stuff that prove what's coming. But it's about this attack. Like I've said, 9/11 or whatever 11 it is, if it's my big guess right now is this is going to be 9/11, is massive tsunamis, and they're going to, as you've seen in many movies, for example, like the movie San Andreas with The Rock and Dwayne Johnson, there's a massive tsunami that hit and wiped out the Golden Gate Bridge, for example. Okay, because that's coming on an 11 day, which I'm saying right now is 9/11. Okay, it's going to broadside people. They're not going to expect a 9/11 again 19 years exactly later, which is 1/9, which is part of his, again, that's part of his year, because it's 19 upside down and backwards. It's 61, which is still 19, and that's broadsiding people. And just like George Bush character in iPad Goat 2 says, fool me once, can't get fooled, or then he says, fool me, can't get fooled again. And so it's like, he says, fool me. So he didn't say, the saying is, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you. No, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, whatever, something like that. Okay, but he says, fool me once, and then he says, fool me, and he says, can't get fooled again. So what he's saying there, and I shared this last year, in the videos last year, because I saw a lot of evidence for 9/11, but it wasn't that 9/11. And I'm saying it's very, very possibly, huge possibility it's this year, 9/11. Because he's saying, fool, what did he say? My brain sometimes, when he says, fool me once, it echoes, right? So we got fooled on 9/11. Fool me once, and that's when he was president, okay? And he says, fool me, so that means I'm going to get fooled a second time. And then he's like arrogantly saying, can't get fooled again, like Americans would be. Can't get fooled again. We're not getting fooled again. But he said, fool me, so he's going to be fooled. So that's hinting that this is going to happen. So anyway, Zodiac is 624. 6 plus 2 is 8, and then we have 4, 84 again. Now we have this guy, Richard Ramirez. Okay, Richard Ramirez, he's called the Night Stalker. 1 plus 3 is 4, 6 plus 2 is 8. I mean, we've seen these numbers often. And then look at this again. We have Richard is 7 plus 6 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4, and then we have 8. I mean, these numbers are all over. I mean, I'm just not going to get into all the numbers. I mean, there's so many numbers, and then even each person in all these set of numbers, I mean, they could be traced right back to BO again, the stinky BO. And I could do like hours and hours more, but that would be really boring probably. Here we go. So he's holding up his hand. It's a pentagram, and it says 666. It's not the best picture. I wish I could get a little bit better picture, but it's the best I could find. So maybe there's not a better picture with that. But he held up 666, and he said, "Hail Satan," in court and everything like that. Crazy. And it was called the Night Stalker. Just by chance, it was just a coincidence that they called it the Night Stalker, which is 84. Are you kidding me? And then look, his full birth name, Ricardo Leyva Munoz Ramirez, is 183, which is 8. 1 and 3 is 4. I mean, are you kidding me? Seriously. Now we get to murderer number 44, of course. Now, I didn't plan this. This was all about him. I'm sorry, I didn't plan this. I mean, I'm saying I planned this part. Him being number 44. I didn't plan Bush being number 33. That's crazy. He was 33, and remember his death day was 3 and 11 and all 11 and 3 and all that stuff. And he ended up being the 33rd one. I think, God's involved in this a lot of times. I'm just hanging out for the ride a lot of times and doing my little parts and stuff. But the Lord's really doing his thing. But I had to put myself, didn't plan on, he had to be number 44 in this whole thing. Because he's the murderer. And here he is with one eye. Just, the one eye in the pyramid. And then you have one eye winking, which is biblical. And I'm going to show you that. And then the tongue out, which is the day of the dead sheep. He's showing that. He's showing that it's a dead sheep tongue coming out. Because remember, Silence of the Lambs? Barack Hussein Obama is 1938, which is 1 and 3. Take out the 9 to scratch it out. 1 and 3 is 4 and 8. So he himself, which is his birthday, is August 4th, 84. But he himself, his full name is 84. And Barack Obama is 408, which is 84 backwards, and Barak is 216. 216th day of the year is August 4th, 84. So he's the king of this. He is the originator. He is the carrier of the vampire disease or whatever, he's the originator of all this stuff. And again, I had this lady come on after my part one and say, hey, that's crazy. Why would it be, Obama's born after, Gandhi, and why would that makes no sense. I mean, you don't understand. This is all, his birth date was already set. His name, literally, Barack Obama's name was given to him later because he was Barry Soetoro. He was also Barry Sabarka before that. Sabarka, backwards, Sabarka means goddess of the, oh my gosh, it's scorpion goddess of the dawn. Sabarka backwards is Akrab. Anyway, I can't think of what it is right now. My brain, I don't have it in front of me. So, but literally, look it up if you haven't. Sabarka, and I have it in videos of mine, but Sabarka backwards is Akrab something, whatever, which exactly means scorpion goddess of the dawn. It's exactly. And he is a effeminate spirit as well as other things. So, I'm not getting into that. Okay, but look at this. Here he is doing his little funkiness, his lips, and then here he is being the shooter. Okay, he's the shooter on the grassy knoll as well. Okay, anyway. 5 plus 3 is 8, and then 4. Shooter. There he is. He's a shooter right there. See? And then, but also, like I showed you earlier with that one number, 5, and then 3 plus 4 is 7. Here he is being Mr. Well, I showed you with that Bush number, which was 1, 4, 7. 1 plus 4 is 5, and then 7. Here he has another thing. He is a shooter, and it's 5, 3 plus 4 is 7. Literally, they do these things all for codes. I'm telling you. So it's easy to figure out. Shooter. He's a shooter. Boom. Simple. And he's more than that. He's a son of perdition. 1 plus 6 is 1 plus 6. 2 plus 6 is 8 plus 4 is 84. He's the lawless one, the Bible says as well. This is what the Bible calls him. The son of perdition, the lawless one. Again, cross out the 8. Yeah, cross out, my goodness, I can't speak here. Cross out the 9. 4 plus 4 and 8 is 84 backwards. And then, like Jesus whispered to me, a murderer from the beginning, out of John 8:44, 8, 4, and 4. 8 and 44, 84 and 44, 8 for John 8, 4. A murder from the beginning is 1 plus 6 plus 1 is 8 and 4, 84. Are you kidding me? There's more. Proverbs says, whoever winks with their eye is plotting perversity. Whoever purses their lips is bent on evil. So here he's winking his eye. And there, I've seen many, many pictures where he's winking his eye. Many. At least 50. At least 50 pictures. Because I've been looking at this jack wagon for many years. And I've seen over 50 of him winking, and then it's like, I know something, and it's in iPad Goat, him winking, and so that's a character of him. It's showing in iPad Goat. It's crazy, okay? In fact, I almost put that in there. And then what does it say about whoever purses their lips is bent on evil? And this, I'm about to prove to you, a lot of people don't know this. This is another thing the Lord made it very clear over the last couple of years for me. He is the king of pursed lips. That is pursing your lips, but what he is like the grand purse-lipped weightlifter or something. He's like he's like Mr. Universe. He's huge. Watch how he defines his muscles into his face. Here we go. Watch this. Look at this. Look at that lip purse. He is actually developing more muscles on his face. I can see it. And wrinkles as he gets older. There's massive wrinkles that appear because he's pursed his lips for so long. Look at that bulge and everything. He's Mr. Purser. Look at that. See that things on the side, in the corners? It's going to get more and more. Watch. Look at that. He really wants to say what's on his mind, but he can't. He's just like, literally, that's why you purse your lips like that. Look, he's built up these muscles. Look at that big old muscle in his bottom lip and around that. It's crazy. And he's got these crazy, it's crazy here. Watch here's another pursing here. He's really pursing them. I'm telling you, when he gets to a point where he's taken over by Lucifer and he can let go, he will love to get all the Christians. He he's frothing at the mouth right now. He wants to say who he really is. He wants to say what he really is. He wants to be who he is, but he can't yet. That's why he's pursing his lips, and he wants to say things. Look at that. Look at that massive. Look at on the sides of his face. Look at how he's just holding that in. Look at his chin. It's all bunched up. I mean, this guy's like, he's like looking out his face. Look at that. Look how he's huge. His face. I mean, my gosh. I mean, look at this. Look at that. He is the king of pursed lips. I'm telling you. I made the case. I'm confident. Okay. And pursed lips in psychology are a classic sign of anger, including when it's suppressed. It is effectively holding the mouth shut to prevent the person's saying what they feel like saying. This may also be an indication of lying or withholding the truth as the person stops themselves from telling the truth. And I've said about Obama, before I even knew this, I'm like, that guy lies more than anybody I've ever seen. And this was years before I even knew he was the Antichrist. I mean, I would watch him and he would just lie about everything the whole time. More than Clinton at the time. I was just like, I saw Clinton. He would lie all the time. I mean, and it was just, he lied more. I mean, he lied just constantly. And I'm like, and then after the Lord showed me he's the Antichrist, at first I was stunned. And then I was just like, because I wasn't even thinking about it and stuff. And then I started seeing all the evidence, looking at the evidence. And now I have 483 solid evidence that he's the Antichrist. And I've been sharing in my videos for almost 2 years now. Anyway, let me show you this as well. This guy, maybe it's a group, but it's a guy or something in Moscow, rented all these billboards, these, like TV screen billboard kind of things. And he played this. Watch this. Iraq, 160,000 killed. 149,000 killed in Afghanistan. Syria, 200,000 people killed because of Obama. Ukraine, 6,832 people killed. Here's the total on the right. Libya, 46,000 killed. Killer number one. This reported by Sputnik News. Obama welcome to the Hague Tribunal in 2016. Yeah, that'd be, I mean, I wouldn't want the Hague because that's a world court or whatever, but I mean, seriously, that he makes a really good point. I mean, literally, it shows on the tally over 500,000 people murdered because he's the murderer. He's a murderer from the beginning. His father, the devil, is a murderer from the beginning. Okay, so he's going to be a murderer from the beginning. Who knows? I got some insight recently from the Lord where he's just like, as soon as he got his name, he earned it because he murdered people. And I don't even know what that is. Whatever age he was when he got his name, when they gave him that name, he had to earn it. So that's what the Lord's telling me. And I'm like, I believe you, Lord. I believe you. He's a murderer. Because Barack Hussein Obama is Hebrew for lightning falling from heaven. And Jesus said in Luke 10:18, I see Satan as lightning falling from heaven, or I see Satan as Barack Obama. Man, that's one of many, hundreds I have. Are you kidding me? Oh, next thing. So this was back in 2013. It was reported by many news sites. I'm just going to show three because there was three predominant messages and quotes. And they had to do with the same quote from a book called Double Down, which is about things Obama said in the White House by these two authors, a book called Double Down. And they're, these different news outlets are doing this story on this. Last year, President Obama reportedly told his aides that he's really good at killing people, in quotes. And I saw that many times, that exact phrase, really good at killing people. And then another quote was, I'm really good at killing people. And that was shared by several other news outlets and things, and articles and things. And then the third one was, turns out I'm really good at killing people. Now, like I've shared in articles and things like this, when it talks about these kind of things, that this is code when they put it in quotes. It's I should say it's Gematria. So let me prove it. So, really good at killing people. 1 + 6 + 6 is 13. 1 + 3 is 4. And then you have the 8, 48, 84 backwards. Look at the 44. Look at killing is 44, which is the number for Lucifer in English Sumerian. It's there. There's so many in here. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get into all that. Okay, I'm really good at killing people. 282, 8 and 2 is 4, 84. It turns out I'm really good at killing people. Two plus 9 is 11, 1, 1, and then 2, and then we have the 8. So that's 84. I mean, are you kidding me? Okay, and then this was in at the Atlantic around that time. It was like 2014 maybe or something like that. Obama's weak defense of his record on drone killings. President Obama presided over a drone strike for the first time shortly after taking office on January 22nd, 2009. The strike missed its target, and the Newsweek reported that Obama was made aware almost immediately that innocents died in the attack. By the end of 2009, the CIA had already conducted its 100th drone strike in Pakistan. Okay, drone killings is 8-4. Take away the 9, of course. 8-4 again. Are you kidding me? Not. I mean, I could see it a mile away. Drone killings. Are you kidding me? Because it's about killing with a drone. I mean, it's a murder weapon. In any case, Obama chose to allow the CIA, a secretive entity with a long history of unjust killing, to carry out strikes. He chose to keep the very fact of drone killings classified, deliberately invoking the state secret's privilege in a way guaranteed to stymie oversight, public debate, and legal accountability, and he chose to permit killings outside the greater Afghanistan war zone in countries with which the U.S. was not at war. Those choices made more unjust killings predictable and inevitable. I mean, far more than they're even reporting, because the fact that they even report this is like almost a miracle, but it's probably even predictive programming to show you what a murderer is, because they probably want it known to some degree. I mean, literally, this is how this works. So there's half-truths being let out all the time because they have to, because when it involves many thousands of people being killed and stuff, it's like a spiritual law. It just is, okay? They're not going to give you all the details. They're not going to give you everything. And I know for a fact he's responsible for millions of especially Middle Eastern Christians to be killed during all these wars. He created ISIS. That's a fact. It's a fact. He created ISIS, and ISIS killed so many Christians who were on a rampage in the Middle East, and they were just carte blanche to kill as many Christians as possible. That's why you had this massive refugee move into Europe and all that stuff. This was all planned as well. There's multiple things that happened. I mean, we had Fast and Furious, which is about these weapons that came from oh my gosh, it came from him. I mean, this to go to these terrorists. I mean, oh Lord, it's all, God help us. Anyway, and then so Obama, who was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, has overseen the expansion of the CIA's targeted killing program, which the Bureau of Investigative Journalism estimates has killed between 2,528 and 3,648 individuals in Pakistan since 2004. That organization also estimates that between 416 and 948 of those killed in drone strikes were civilians, an estimate disputed by the Obama administration. I mean, again, these are low numbers, because that's the way they'll never tell the real numbers. Hundreds of thousands and millions of people killed by different things. And this is what Obama said: let us remember that the terrorists we were after target civilians, and the death toll from their acts of terrorism against Muslims dwarfs and any estimate of civilian casualties from drone strikes, Obama said. But he's admitting that they killed a lot of civilians. Okay, he's saying they dwarf. I mean, that's convenient very much. But like I proved, let me go back. Like I proved, he is a murderer. Okay, this is proof in many ways here that I'm showing. He's a murderer. He's a pursed-lipped, winking murderer. Okay, now let's go to his VP. That was his VP. Creepy Uncle Joe. And if you ever looked on the internet, look on the internet. I mean, do a search for Creepy Uncle Joe on YouTube, and you will see hundreds of examples of him touching, kissing, grabbing, groping. I mean, the most sick thing. I mean, women, they should just slap him. That's their problem. But these kids, you know what? Do you see this right here? You see this right here? If you did that to my kid, and I would smack you, I would punch you. You don't touch my son like that. Like you're going to kiss him? What a sick... Oh, this makes my blood boil right now. Woo, man. This guy is a creep. And vice president, of course, to the nasty Obama, of course. Look at this guy. I mean, I've seen worse. I tried to find some pictures in a decent amount of time. Look at this girl. I mean, he's got his hand around her like they're on a date. I mean, are you kidding me? This guy's a pedophile to the nth degree. I know for a fact of a Secret Service person that I actually know through the grapevine, through other friends. She was a Secret Service agent for him and he would skinny dip in front of her all the time in the pool that he would go, and she'd have to watch him skinny dip. I mean, and other things probably, but that's what I know of that. It's just crazy. This guy is a psycho, and he's a murderer. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., 2106, is 216, the 216th day of the year, which is August 4th. Joe Biden is also 44. What a shock. I mean, that's not a coincidence. And there's more numbers, but I'm just making the point without going absolutely crazy and off the deep end and boring you. This is phenomenal. Wait till you see this. So we just had yesterday, of course, we had a creepy Uncle Joe bring in Kamala Harris as his vice presidential nominee. I mean, are you kidding me? And wait till you see this. When I saw this, my mouth dropped because I know what happened a couple days earlier. Again, this was on 8/11 yesterday. Today is 8/12. I'm putting this out late at night on 8/12, and if I don't want to get it out, maybe it'll be 8/13. Who knows how YouTube's going to treat me this time? You never know. It's a crapshoot. But here he is with her. This is all planned, and I will prove it right now. Her name, Kamala Devi Harris, which is short for devil, because she's a representation of Obama, and I'm going to show you why. Because she's black, she's a female, he's a black female in a sense. It definitely has the spirit of it. I think he's some form of Baphomet, woman and man mixed, because he's a clone, okay? And he's got a male wife, Michael and I. Are you kidding me? Okay, so why is that? Because of this. 2 days earlier, August 9th, former WWE wrestler James Kamala Harris dies at 70. Kamala Harris. James Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. James Kamala Harris. 9. Remember, so they're both in August, but look at 9, 11. 9, 11. Am I making my point? Hopefully. This guy was a victim. He's in the system, unfortunately, because he's one of these guys. He's actors and everything, just like all these. I mean, look at these actors and look at this actor. But see, 9/11, and I prove that in many ways. But look at him. He's a victim under the same code. 1 plus 7 is 8. Scratch out the 9 because you add that to anything, it stays the same. And then 4, 84. He's got the victim murder code. It's crazy. This stuff is nuts. Wait till you see this. Okay, I'm going to show Kamala Harris first and last letter code. Now, I've shared the first and last letter code on many things I've done, many videos. But I did this video about REM's song, It's the End of the World as We Know It, and how that's all coded. But my shining, crowning achievement on that video, and that breakdown of that code, is the first letter code for It's the End of the World as We Know It. Oh, let me pause this. Okay, man, I messed this up here. Wow. Okay, so I'm not sure how to correct this right now. I'm just going to do it this way. So, first letter code for It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine. It's the song. A lot of people know this. A lot of you that watching this. So I'm going to show you this. Look. So we have this. I can't touch it. Okay. Start with the very top left. ITEO, and then this T is over there. WA. The bottom row is WKIAIFF. It's starting with the top. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. So I thought I could touch with the thing. I guess I can't because it's a video or whatever. But my daughter, she was awesome. I came up with this idea. I wanted to do kind of this, an animation, and she's like, I got a stop motion thing on my phone, and she got a little phone that's just for, use it as a little tablet for stuff. Anyway, so she did this, and she took pictures of each little movement, and then she took, a little while to do this, but it was awesome. So what happens when you do first letter code? It's also, it's not also the first letter of all these words. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. But it's also an anagram as well. And the Lord led me to this. I'm not going to explain how it took completely, but it was phenomenal how He showed me all this. It's the end of the world as we know, and I feel fine. First letters of all those words equal this. Watch. This is the anagram for what that is. Get ready to be blown away. Take off at World War III. Oh, take off at World War III. Wow. And that has to do with an aeroplane. Okay, so that was me talking. Take off at World War III. So it says, that's great. It starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes, an airplane. So what this is, so a lot of people have had this dream. My daughter had this dream when she was 4 years old, that there was a massive earthquake and other things I'm going to get into right now. But there's a massive earthquake, and then there was some stuff going on, and then we end up rapturing out around that time of the earthquake. But what's this showing here, I believe, and I'm not getting into all this right now, birds and snakes, okay, is the flu, really. It's the COVID, okay? Birds and snakes, because they're saying it came from birds. It's like the flu. Bird flu, the snake flu is COVID. I mean, they were saying it came from snakes. They were saying a few other things. So birds and snakes is the year of the birds and snake flu. It's the earthquake that's going to be coming soon. And then an airplane will be taking off at World War III for the rapture. Because in the song, and I broke this down in a video that you can go back to my channel and look at. But it's takeoff at World WW 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's crazy. And that's what's showing, because also in the song, it talks about rapture. Right. Rapture and the something. Right. Anyway, it's basically talking about the raptured ones that are taking off. It's crazy. You won't believe it when you see it. But that's a little preview of that, and it's phenomenal. It's impossible for that to work out that way. It's impossible for it to be a first letter code of that whole phrase, and then all those first letters are an anagram of takeoff at World War III. Not possible. Oh, okay. So that being said, I wanted to show you an example of what first letter code does and how it's feeling. Then I'm going to show you a last letter code. So in Kamala Harris, I've highlighted each. The white is the first letter. Okay, what is that? K is the 11th letter of the alphabet. H is the 8th letter. Look at this. This happened. This thing happened with him bringing her on, and on 811, and her first letter code is 811 backwards. Are you kidding me? I'm proving this. This is all planned. This is all, wow. And her name is 118. Now look at this last letter code. What is this connecting 811 to? A is 1, first letter of the alphabet. S is 19. That's 911 backwards. And I've been talking about 911. Wow. This is crazy. Wait till you see even more with her name. You won't believe this. Okay, so we have Stinky B.O.'s birthday. We have Kamala Devi Harris. Now, I showed you, again, they mess with this with first and last name, and the first name, middle name, and last name, or the birth name, different ways for different messages. So, first code, last letter code I'm going to show first. After I do remember, Stinky B.O. is the 1961 is 61 is upside down and backwards, which is 19, 19, and 19. So 8-4-19-19, which is really 8-4-11, which also 8 plus 4 is 3, which is 3-11, right? Well, I'm just going to leave it at 8-4-11 because you can stop reducing any time for different reasons to match other things. So I'm going to show you this. This is crazy. So now look at the last letter code. So we have A is 1, I is 9, S is 19. Okay, it's simple gematria. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. Look at this. 1919 confirms this, what I've been saying about this. It confirms this because, like I said, she has the devil in her. She's Devi Harris, Kamala Devi Harris, and she's the replacement for the killing of the James Kamala Harris, who is a black man. She's a black woman. Obama's a black man and a black woman together in a sense. I mean, I don't know. I think it's physical, but I'm not going to get all that. Okay, I'm just saying. Maybe it's all just spiritual, but Lord gave me this impression that he's a Baphomet. And so, because a Baphomet is male and female, and it's crazy. So, anyway, here we go. First letter code will blow your mind. And I'm going to do it backwards, starting with H and Harris, because it's apropos here. H is 8, D is the 4th letter of the alphabet, and K is 11. Do you see that? To the Antichrist. Do you see that? 8-4-11, 8-4-11. She's a type of him. being a female, black female. There's so many examples of that. Black females being the type of him, the Antichrist, and white males and black males, and I mean so many, really in every kind of race. But he really loves that. He really loves the black examples for different reasons. I can just tell for a number of reasons he loves that, because it's a better representation of him because he's black. I mean, he's not really black though. He's actually not even white and black. He's actually a clone. He's a Syrian. He's a clone from Akhenaten. He looks just like the Egyptian king Akhenaten. They literally got DNA from that. They spliced different DNA together. I'm not getting into all that either. Wow. So anyway, that's 311 as well. Okay, and then check this out. So 311. So remember, this is Kamala Harris right here, and I'm gonna show her birthday here, and this is Stinky BO's birthday, which breaks down ultimately to 311 because he's Mr. 311. This is her birthday, 10/20/1964. Now, this is another example that she is an example of him, the Antichrist. 10 plus 20 is 30. Take away the 0, you have 3. Remember, 19 is 10. Take away the 0 is 1. 19 is really 1. 6 plus 4 is 10. They do this a lot with making 10. So 19 and 64 are both 10s. Take away the zeros, you have 1. She is 311. Barack Obama is 311. She is 8411 in her first letter code backwards. She's also 1919. And I said his year is hidden, 1961, which is really 1990. I'm not making a case. If you can't see this, you are literally blind. You are spiritually blind. You can't see this. You need to see this. You need to know he's coming on the scene. He's coming back. In the last few months, he's been coming every single month on the scene for funerals and graduations and all this stuff. And he was gone for years, in a sense. I mean, he would hear pop a little speech. He couldn't help himself without saying certain things all the time. But now he's coming back because he's coming into the public consciousness. And then when this all attack starts happening, he's going to come in as their savior, especially when Trump's taken out. I'm telling you, Trump is the fall guy. I'm predicting it. You'll see it. My guess is going to be September 8th because he's Mr. 58. 5'8 is 7'8 is 9'8. More to that. I'm going to get into this. So let me go back. Wow, I'm just fired up. Wow, this is crazy. Now I'm going to do a few more murderers and then I'll be done here. So this guy, oh my goodness, I put in this guy instead of somebody else. Because I lived in Washington State growing up, and this was notorious. He eliminated these poor women, with these girls, really, mostly girls. It's just staggering. But I wanted you to see these victims' faces of what these heinous people do. And Obama's worse. I absolutely guarantee it. If you can't see he's the Antichrist, you need to listen to Jesus for a change. So I tell people on my channel, you need to listen to Jesus for a change. Try doing that. Try becoming still and stop doing your own will and listen to Jesus for a change, and he'll show you stuff you can't imagine. You can't imagine. This is what this guy did. This guy right here, and Obama's worse. He already is worse, and he will be 1,000,000 times worse. Okay? Gary Ridgway. 1 plus 3 is 4. 8. 84 backwards. Gary Leon Ridgway. 1, 3 is 4. 2 plus 6 is 85. I mean, how many times have I seen these same numbers? I mean, it's just, how many times in this presentation have you seen these same exact numbers? I mean, this is impossible, okay? And then we have the Green River Killer, which is what he was. Again, look at these numbers right here. Look at this. Gary Leon Ridgway and the Green River Killer are 1326. One's reverse English Gematria, one's English Gematria, one's exactly reversed. This is impossible. This is like winning the lottery like 10 times in a row or more. I mean, it's off the charts. I could literally work up the chances of this and you just be like, what? I mean, most people don't get what this is, just on the surface. This is impossible for these two to match exactly backwards. And that's what they love to do. So, I'm going to show you some other stuff here. So between 1983 and 1985, Charles Ng, along with his partner in crime, Leonard Lake, wow, that's code, LL is 33, of course, tortured and killed up to 25 people at Lake's California cabin, which included a custom-built dungeon where many of these killings took place. The duo's victims included friends, neighbors, family members, and some unfortunate strangers. Man, how would you like to be related to these jack wagons? Look at these guys. Okay, they had a dungeon and everything. This is the property when after they're excavating the bodies and stuff. Sick puppies, man. Demonic inspired. Now, like I said, maybe they're probably patsies. Like I said, most of these things are there's Masons behind this. There's all kinds of people behind this. There's the elite behind these people because they need to do these rituals, sacrifices, so they can get more power and all this stuff. So these guys, they probably were manipulated. Again, MK Ultra. If you ever looked into it, it's been around for a long time, and they're getting it down to a massive science. They can beam these thoughts into people's heads almost any time now. And someone just told me the exact technology again. I keep forgetting what it's called. Something to skull technology is like something to skull. Anyway, it's like sound to skull or something like that. Anyway, I keep forgetting what it is. I don't know, and it's late right now. So Charles Ng is 48, 84 backwards. Leonard Lake is 5 plus 8 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4, 84 4 backwards. Charles Chin Tank Ning, whatever, 1 times 48 is 48, 84 backwards. Leonard Thomas Lake, again, these are their birth names and their known media names. Leonard Thomas Lake is 1 7, which is 8, and then 4 is 84. And then, believe it or not, these two together, these two jackwagons together, I don't know. I mean, again, they have to be mind controlled because you cannot plan this. And this is the 46th one, 47th one, whatever it was in my whole list so far. And I still haven't got to one that murders that didn't have 84 all over the place. Look at all these names. Leonard Lake and Charles Ng is 138. No way. Not possible in no universe except for the massive coincidence universe. Massive coincidence on top of massive coincidence on top of massive coincidence universe. If there's a universe like that, that's possible, but there's no universe like that here on Earth that I know of. Okay, maybe you live in that universe. Most of the time, I don't. I live in reality. That's right here. Okay, it's called Earth. Okay, so here we go. So Leonard Lake and Charles Ng. Are you kidding me? And then even more than that, to add even more of impossibility to that, just stack it on. Big old tower of impossibility. Miranda murders is what these are called, and it's 84 backwards. Cross out the 9. Are you kidding me? Man, this is crazy. Let's go to the next one. I got a few more left. In the early 1940s, John George Haig rented a small workshop in Sussex, England. In it solely for the money, he lured wealthy people back to the space where he would subsequently shoot them in the head. What happened next was a lot more grim. Haig would dispose of the bodies by soaking them in acid, which disintegrated them. I mean, how sick can you get? And I wanted to show some of the sickness of these people because on this one even more and describe the situations because it's worse with the Antichrist. He's going to murder many, many, many people, and he already has. I'm confident millions, a few million. Just the wars in the Middle East and Libya and Afghanistan and all this stuff he's presided over, and he got the Peace Prize. I mean, are you kidding me? Isn't that the biggest contradiction in the history of the world? A president gets a Nobel Peace Prize and is already proven to be one of the biggest murderers in history? Seriously. I mean, seriously. Wake up, people, if you haven't already. Okay, here he is. He's all smug. He's like, hey, I'm going here. I mean, John George Haig, 822. What a shock. All in a row. He's the 47th scumbag or mind-controlled nugget, whatever you want to say. I don't know. I mean, I'm confident these are all controlled because the numbers could not match. It's proving everything I've ever said. And then he was called the acid bath murderer, and that's 8 and 1 and 3 or 4, 84. Wow. And then we know this guy. This is myth and legend. Jack the Ripper. I had to throw him in there. 84, straight 84. Take away the 0. Are you kidding me? That's all we need to say there. Except for this. Jack the Ripper is also 1. And this is a good example how someone say, oh, come on, 1 and 48. Yeah, 1 times 4. That's how they do this. I'm telling you. And these other ciphers prove it out. So you have a straight 84 backing up that 1 times 48 is real because it ends up being 84 also. So, and that happens all the time in this stuff, and I'm just showing you evidence of that. This one is my last one. Was this my last one? Yes, this is my last one. If I Okay, I'm sure this one. I gave it one of my most sick ones I could think that I thought of. And again, I was at the end of it, and then I switched out a couple people, and I had to use the sickest one to be the last one, and I kicked out a couple other people. So I had all this exact row, how I thought of them, wrote them down, and then the last few I just like moved around a little bit, and got kicked a couple out because I wanted somewhat of a story and stuff. So Luis Garavito, a Colombian serial killer, all too fittingly known as the Beast. I mean, wonder why I would have put this on there. Because Obama's the Beast. Huh? Yeah, could something to do with that? He had a presidential limo or whatever called the Beast. That's all. That's all mass coincidence. Confessed to raping, torturing, and murdering 147 impoverished boys. By the way, like I picked this, 1 + 4 is 5, just like George Bush, his number. 1 + 4 is 5, 7. He's Mr. 57 because he's the Beast, because he's the Antichrist, because he's Stinky B.O. Are you getting it yet? Trying to wake you up. That's the reason why I'm doing this. Any of you that still believes that he's not it, or some other jackwagon is, like Trump. Oh my gosh, Trump, really? I mean, there's no way. There's no way. He's not a Syrian. He's not. I mean, no. There's so many people that people say that they think they're, and just not possible. This guy hits everything. He's the whole mythology. He's all the numbers, as I'm proving. No one ever comes close. I guarantee it. Impoverished boys. So he murdered 147 impoverished boys. And the Lord showed me weeks ago, I had a dream that he was consuming boys and children. Obama. He was consuming them. And I can't explain exactly what he was doing. But in the imagery, I can't explain, but they were like lifeless bodies thrown in the corner. He would just consume the life out of them, and they were lifeless bodies thrown in the corner. This motivates me to share the truth about who this guy is, because I know, and I'm proving it. Every video I do that I'm sharing with this, I mean, they're not all about him, but most of them are, because it's about the birth of the man-child, which is glorious and amazing, and it's the sons of God. At the same time, this evil piece of crap is going to be let loose on the world to so many people that have no idea what's coming. And I have a son. I have 3 sons. I have a son that I was thinking about immediately that was sick. That's 6. And I have 2 other twin boys. And the fact that someone would come and kill them and suck the life out of them and throw them in the corner like a rag doll that's been the life been sucked out of. Makes me very angry and sad. So when police arrested Garativo in 1999, 666. So 1 times 999 is 999. Upside down and backwards is 666. This is all planned. Look at this. The Beast. 147 is 57 in 1999. I mean, is this even real? Maybe it's not even real. Maybe there wasn't all those victims. Maybe they just made it all up. That's possible. That would be great. But I highly doubt it, because they needed this stuff for rituals. There was probably multiple different people that wanted to kill them themselves and then put it on this guy. More likely, because that's what this proves. They charged him with 170 counts. Take out the 0, it's 17. That 17th letter of the alphabet is Q, and I've said Obama's Q because B-O, I call him Stinky B-O. B is 2, O is 15. 2 plus 15 is 17. He is also number 17 in a big way. Plus 17 backwards is 71. September 1st. Septem in Latin is 7. First is number 1, of course. So 17 backwards is 71, or September 1st. Sorry. Burping a little bit. Ooh. Okay. And some suspect that his true tally may reach above 300. And there's the 3. Remember, he was 3? Remember, he's 3? This whole thing is about Obama. And check it out. He is a Colombian serial killer. Why? Why not American? Why Colombian? Why is that? Oop. Hold on. Because of this, Colombian is 84. What a shock. And this is the guy. As far as we know, and more likely, he was mind controlled. He was a victim of MK Ultra, and I almost guarantee it. I pretty much guarantee it, probably. But he could have been even more than that. He could have been one of these people that they let loose. They made him that way, and then they let loose so they can fulfill their rituals and stuff. But I'm telling you, my whole point of all this is controlled and contrived. None of this is organic. The elite that have these dogs on leashes let them go to attack people and then bring them back and do all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you, that's what this is. We would not hear of all these serial killers. We would not have all these murders if it wasn't for the elites that control all this stuff and make it happen so they can do rituals, so they can bring the world into the ultimate goal of the Antichrist coming. That's what this is all about. Well, that's what these people, sick people, live for. It's their religion. It's their life. It's sick. Luis Alfredo Gartivo Cabillos, how do you say that? My goodness, is simply you just 1 plus 8 is 9, and 9 you take away. Then we have 48. 48 is 84 backwards. He was called the Beast. Okay, not a coincidence. It's off the Antichrist. 48, 84 backwards, and even in Spanish, La Bestia is beast, and it's 2 plus 2 is 4. 8, 84 backwards. Are you kidding me? And then just to light it up at the end, he was the last one. He was number 51, the Beast, because it relates to Stinky B.O. being the Beast. And I want to lighten this up a little bit because I'm kind of drained and done because I'm thinking about my kids and can't imagine that. Shoot the kids, hang the family, frame them all. You decide if this is real or fake. You decide. And I'm going to leave it at that. This is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.